Hello and welcome to the October 2012 online Kula Yoga Shala teacher feature interview. This month we are here with Gus Castellanos and my trusty sidekick, Sienna. Say hi. She's shy. Okay. Say bye. Alright, back to Gus. How you doing, man?
I'm good now. That's a good student. She knows to be quiet. We're here to meditate and stuff like that. There you go. Good training.
Yes.
Oh, she talked.
So welcome and thank you so much for doing this. And like we talked about, the purpose is to just give everybody a chance to get to know you a little bit and get to know your class that you're teaching. And Gus teaches the mindfulness meditation practice on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. And we'll start maybe just giving people a sense of how you came to start practicing meditation and the value that you found, and then from there we can talk maybe a little bit about teaching and what to expect from the practice, or if we should just let go of expectations altogether.
Give me a moment of silence. And it's because it's actually sometimes I forget how far back this goes.
Yeah.
I started what was called meditation back in the 70s when I was in medical school. It's part of my journey at the University of Miami, and it ended up being mostly a self-hypnosis, relaxation type meditation. But it shares a lot with what I do now. I then went on to practice medicine, and so meditation became mostly a tool for me to use to relax and to sometimes escape. Not necessarily a wrong reason to do the meditation, but certainly not achieving all the benefits that I see now. So I went through years of practicing medicine. I had my own personal problems, the stress, the workaholism, and all that business, and found the meditation practices pretty useful, but I couldn't figure out how to work them into my life. So about, we're guessing in 1999 to the year 2000, here at the Jupiter Medical Center campus, they started a mindfulness-based stress reduction program in the Mind-Body Institute. And I was just fortunate enough to know the doctor that was starting it, and he invited me to take the class. And that's actually what I teach now, jumping ahead. But at that time, I had no awareness that that was what I was going to be doing. I took it mostly because he wanted me to refer my patients to the clinic, to the Meditation Mind-Body Institute for the benefits that it provided. But then he asked me to take it myself for my own problems. And so I took it once, and then a couple of years later I took it again. It's an 8-week class that teaches how to do different meditation practices, all based on paying attention to this moment non-judgmentally, which I'll get into in a minute. And I found that it was helpful, and it helped me in my situation and my personal issues and such. And I then started really practicing and exploring other types of meditations out there, mostly the guided ones that you find all over the internet these days and with all kinds of teachers. But what happened to me was I started seeing that you can go on forever. And each one sort of had a slightly different, and this is not a complaint because I think any meditation is good. Each one had their own little gimmick to them. We're going to talk about certain spiritual people and certain imagery and certain attempts for certain diseases. And so it either became too specific or way too out there for me. But what I did notice that all of them had one thing in common, and that's that you had to be aware of what was going on. In other words, you had to be paying attention. So I gradually gravitated toward the mindfulness. And then a few years ago, I stopped practicing medicine. I retired from that and had an opportunity to spend a lot of time practicing, but didn't have any props. I was in a situation where I didn't have any CDs, books, teachers, ashrams, and workshops. And so the only thing I could remember was the practices for mindfulness that I learned, which was basically focusing on breath or body parts, which was really grounding me in the center. And I started recognizing the power in that. Number one, you could take it everywhere. So it was portable. You didn't have to be at the beach. You didn't have to be in a studio. You didn't have to be with teachers or CDs. So there was no excuse not to do it. And then number two, that actual cultivating, being present in the moment was really what was necessary before anything else would happen. Mm-hmm. As we say, this is the only moment that we have to do anything, including healing, improving our lives, or, for that matter, looking into our lives to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so, not knowing exactly what I was going to do for a living, when I was going through this part of my journey, I was introduced to somebody, a very wealthy woman that actually is on the board of the Center for Mindfulness at the University of Massachusetts School of Medicine, where this mindfulness-based stress reduction classes started. The originator, John Kabat-Zinn, that's where his program has been all along. And so she took me under her wing, sponsored me, helped me teach. I co-taught with her, and she got me a number of places in town. The Hanley Center, the Treatment Center, the University of Miami School of Medicine. We used her house and her other facilities to do all-day workshops. And then she helped me get trained as a formal teacher in that type of meditation. So what I actually teach these days is the mindfulness-based stress reduction classes, the 8-week classes at other places, but I bring it into Kula in the sense of trying to get people either aware of what it's about, or for people who have taken the 8-week classes and want to continue to practice in a group. And that's pretty much what I get in the classes. About 50-50 people brand new to the mindfulness, and 50% of the people that have done some of the work and just want to continue.
Great. And can you talk for a couple minutes just about people that are new to meditation? There's so much, misconception around, I'm not supposed to be thinking, or, I have to sit, perfectly still or straight the entire time, and just to allow them to find maybe some comfort around starting a meditation practice.
Yes, for sure, because by far those are the two most common. I get that. It's the so-called cocktail party chatter. I can't meditate because I can't quiet my mind. I tried meditating, but I couldn't sit still. And the beauty I found, again, the foundational essence of mindfulness is it's about cultivating paying attention. Again, to this moment, and we always add in there non-judgmentally. So it's not anything to do with quieting the mind. The mind may or may not quiet. It may be busier than ever, especially when you first start doing this work, or sitting still, or any position. And in fact, at Kula, every week, because there's always somebody brand new, I'll say something like that. I'll say, we're going to do the traditional laying down meditation of the mindfulness work. However, you can do it in any position you want. You can sit up, you can prop yourself up against the wall. We even have a woman bring in one of your chairs. Or you can get up and walk out. As long as you're paying attention to the moment, as long as you're aware and mindfully doing whatever you're doing, then you're doing the practice as we suggested.
Awesome. And any other things that you want to share with everybody about, just trying it out, or suggestions for people that are getting started, or anything just based on your experience, inspiration-wise, that you'd like to bring to people that are maybe watching this video?
Well, it all boils down to practice, and we'll say do not be attached to outcomes. So when we say to practice, that people do come in with, I got pain, or I'm stressed out, or financial relationship, and I'll just say to them, yes, that's what brings you here, but don't be attached to outcomes of this. Just do the practice, because in the end, the practice for us is not about an outcome or a goal to achieve. It's about the dedication and the devotion to the practices, if you will, and really to your life. In reality, mindfulness is what actually happens from the paying attention, moment to moment, non-judgmentally. It's not the actual doing of that, but it's what actually happens to the person.
Right. Completeness
and wholeness, as we say.
Yeah, so it's basically a mind training to be able to live more in a more present fashion.
Absolutely.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Gus. I appreciate taking the time to do this, and mostly taking the time to be a Kula and sharing your practice and your passion with everybody.
No, and thank you for having invited me. I've been there since day one and watched the whole thing unfold and grow. It's huge. That alone is a practice. So.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott.
You bet. And bye, Sienna. Hi.